Weekly, your audio newsletter for everything Geeks Meet.
Hey Chad, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic.
What are we going over today, bud?
We have a lot of stuff to go over today.
I know.
Yeah, we actually
Welcome
have a lot.
to episode 4.
Episode 4, yeah, very exciting.
Very
Episode
exciting.
4, yeah. We've done 2 other episodes other than episode 1, but we don't talk about what happened to those, so we're
just going to skip ahead. We're episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4, very exciting. So we're going to be talking about our top 6 indie games.
Oh, indie games?
Yeah, indie games. We also have the game of the week, we have the movie of the week, and we also have something about Netflix, a deal with Marvel and Disney about like some really cool comic book characters coming to Netflix.
We got some news on that, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get started.
All right.
Okay, so here we are.
Yeah, man.
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
We actually started at 8:30. That's not bad because usually you don't get here until about 9.
At a decent time.
Not
today.
until about 9 o'clock usually. 8:45 is the earliest I've seen you
I
come.
got out of the gym today. I was like 6:45. I'm like, oh man, I'm almost done. That's when I sent you the message. I was like, I'm gonna be there by 8 o'clock today.
I know, and I didn't believe you.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was here 10 minutes early.
Yes. So I had a pretty good day today because I was at work. Girlfriend's mother sent me a text message saying that I got a package from Amazon. So I was really excited. I thought it might be one of your gifts. It's not. But I was so excited because I knew I wasn't going home.
Yeah.
So when my girlfriend said like, "Oh, me and my mom are coming to see you at work to get something to eat," I said, "Bring the Amazon package." She said like, "Oh, okay, no problem." And she comes in with a stack of 3 boxes, and I'm like, "Yes," because I didn't know what I forgot what I ordered. I order a lot of stuff.
Forgot what you ordered. Just like it's Amazon. Yes.
Yes, I was just so excited. So I'm going to show you what I got here.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at this. Ready?
Definitely.
I think you've seen this before, but I actually ended up getting a new one. I gave this originally to my nephew.
Batman knife.
Yeah, I had to get a new one. Yeah, it's a double blade Batman knife.
Nice.
And it's much nice. My other one kind of got screwed up because I kind of started throwing it at the wall and it would get stuck. I was like, "Yeah, I'm Batman," and then it got all loose and stopped working as well. And
yeah, it's really more for show than anything.
yeah, I mean, it still works really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can carry it in my pocket and keep that.
So
yeah,
there's one thing. Nice.
Yeah, that was one thing. And then this, I mean, that was only $2
$2
on
on Amazon. Did it come with free shipping?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
and then another thing I got for $2 on Amazon. This right here. Now I want you to know.
The Prime membership. You got the Prime membership on there?
I do not.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dude,
I don't have it.
You're wasting so much money.
I know.
All right, so let's go. We'll move on. I'll go on to that.
Okay, so I just want you to know. Look at this belt loop. You see that? This you can go put this on a belt loop. Right, ready? Wham bam! There you go, ma'am.
You got
$2 real batarangs.
Let me see these. Oh my god, dude, they're heavy too.
Yeah, right. You
get
get 3 of them.
Yep.
$2, and you get like the whole thing. You could actually put it on a belt. Like if you were deciding to be like Batman for like Comic-Con or something like that.
That's pretty awesome, man.
I mean, only $2 to add that to your costume. Yeah, amazing. I don't even know. I'll never use these, but I want them. I wanted them. They were $2.
If I was you, instead of throwing your knife, I'd probably just throw those.
Well, that's the plan. That's why I kind of got them. So now I can still feel like Batman, but not ruin what I have.
Right.
And these are, I mean, cheap. So I mean, if I ever really wanted more, you know what I'm thinking? I could probably get some more of them, and I'm probably going to give them out as gifts to like my geek friends and stuff like that. You know, so expect one in your stocking.
All right.
Yeah, not too bad, right?
Not bad deal.
Yeah.
Although I will tell you that if you're going to give me that in a stocking, you need to make sure we're not anywhere that I should not be throwing things, because immediately I'm going to pull it out and throw it. I'm going to be like, Chad,
You're going to throw it at me? Is that what you're saying?
I'm going to throw it like right behind you, though. I'm going to like aim, and it's going to go right by your head. And you're going to
That's going to be crazy.
I did not want to buy that for you. I'm going to go, yeah. Whatever.
All right, so don't expect that in your stocking.
Yeah.
Okay, just for future reference. And I also got one other thing, and I was so excited because I did not think I was going to get this early.
Okay. Came
out on Tuesday. I got it on Wednesday. Best day ever, because you know I'm a big Superman fan. I got the Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy. And all out, man. I got the whole thing. And it also I got the collector's edition that came with 2 figurines. One was Zod and one was Superman.
Nice.
Right there. I was so excited.
Little shrine.
Yeah, exactly. Just added onto my shrine. I was so excited. The only thing was that there was an ultraviolet copy for digital. I don't do ultraviolet.
Okay. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Because I just don't use it. I just don't use it because I do the digital copies on my Apple television.
Oh,
and I use Apple because like I can watch it on my actual television or I can watch it on my computer.
Okay.
And it doesn't take up any space, just like ultraviolet. But I just don't use ultraviolet. I just don't do it. But so I ended up buying it for my iTunes this morning. Also, after I got it,
just went all out. You're like,
I have to have it just everywhere with me. So at all times. I also got today. I was really excited because this came out on Tuesday. Also, The Hobbit, the extended edition.
Oh yeah.
On DVD. I got the Blu-ray.
I'm not a huge fan of The Hobbit.
I know you don't really like Lord of the
I
Rings.
like Lord of the Rings, man. I can't get into that fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I understand.
It doesn't make sense me being a D&D guy, but I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. So this weekend was my opening weekend for my Spelling Bee.
That's
musical.
right. I went to that.
Yes,
I did go to that. It was funny, man. It was funny. Although I will tell you, I had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was acting really well. I pretty much pegged who was going to win. I knew that your character was not going to make it. Because he won the first time and he was sort of emotional about it. It's sort of like, all right, he's not going to make it. But I had a feeling that I didn't think you were going to be like out as quick as you were.
Yeah.
But I had a feeling that the other guy was going to win.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a scene in this play that's not fair. If you've got mommy daddy issues, you do not want to see this play because you're going to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was me. I'm like, just hold it together, man. Just hold it together. It's all right. Just one scene. Just one scene. Nope.
Yeah, and I didn't warn you either.
No, you did not warn me. You were like, dude, there's like a really emotional part in this. Because I was like, oh, it's going to be a comedy.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, is this talking about my erection? I was like, perfect, South Park-ish. I'm going to go see this. No, and then there's that one scene where she's just like emotional. And
she's a great singer, too. The three...
I know.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm a great singer, but I'm going to say that, like, the three of us together singing that song, I thought...
Yes, it was very emotional, very powerful. Very good scene. Very good scene. It moved me.
Yeah. Well, if you do want to come see the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, the musical, it says fun for the whole family, but it is not a family-friendly show. It is for adults.
It's meant for adults. I'd probably say it's a PG-13 show.
Yeah, I mean, I sing about my erection. I sing about my penis a little bit.
A little bit.
So, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, but it's not
a whole
you
song
see
dedicated.
Like a PG-13 film.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's PG-13.
Definitely. So if you want to come see it, I will put the information on the description. So, cool. And then also, just really quick, the GoFundMe.com.
Oh yeah, I still got the GoFundMe up if anybody wants to do any more donations. Again, it's all going to my roommates who lost it all, just like I did. But on the plus side, by the time we have our next podcast, I should actually have more information on that and what's going on with the house and whatnot. So.
Oh, nice. I'd like to know a little bit more about that also.
Man, because it's been a month now, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to the top 6. Here we go. Top 6.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, we are ready for the top 6, right?
Yes. We added this in 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, 2 episodes ago. So I'm glad you guys have enjoyed our last couple because we had some really, really, really good ones. So if you miss them, just go get episode 2. You'll be fine. So next up, this week we're going to do top 6 indie games, okay?
Yes.
And the reason we're doing this is because I wanted to, and that's why we're doing it. So let's get started.
He basically sent me a message and said, dude, this is what we're doing this week. And I was like, okay. Because I think last top 6 I suggested.
You suggested the last one. And then, I don't know, I was just sitting down, I was playing Saints Row on Sunday, and I was like, let's just do indie games, because there's a couple really good quality indie games.
Is Saints Row an indie game?
Saints Row is not an indie game.
It just made you think of it for some reason?
Yeah, I was in my gaming mood, and then I probably picked up something on the PlayStation Network that I was playing too, and, all over.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so we're going to go with number 6 here. These are actually, for me, the ones that I picked are really just the only indie games that I've really played.
I know, you're not as big a gamer as I am.
I love games, I really do, but I just don't have that series. But yeah, but I commit to my TV shows and my movies and stuff like that, and I also, with me doing shows and working and going to college and stuff like that, I just don't have time to play. I haven't played a video game in forever, and it's killing me because I want to finish Arkham City before I want to start playing Arkham Origins. I know. You're behind, bud. Yeah, I'm really behind.
You're definitely.
I haven't finished a lot of the games that I'd like to finish, and it's killing me because they're like a year old now. So. Yeah, I'm wicked behind right now. But you know what? During right after Christmas. I will be.
You're just gonna commit.
I'm just gonna commit to just doing games.
Play games.
You know what? It's so funny because that's around the time that I start playing games again.
Yeah.
Is around Christmas, and then I do it right in the beginning of summer. Those are the 2 times that I. There might be a couple
of games. Maybe we can look into it, but there might be some games around that time that we could maybe duel. You know what I mean? Because I've got a PlayStation, so I'll bring up. I got a couple top-down shooters that are really fun. Like I've got Lara Croft, and I've got Dead Nation, things like that. It'll be awesome. So.
Well, and we already talked about that. We're going to be doing a 24-hour shut-in.
Yes.
Streaming podcast, which is going to be
have to be on a Friday though, because I'm not going to last stay at work.
Okay, well, we're going to have to figure it out because it's going to be a snowstorm, hopefully.
Well, tell whoever makes the snowstorms to get it on a Friday.
All right. I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated.
A day off of work. I'll just call out sick.
So I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
All right, so the first one is called Spider.
Spider. Okay.
It's actually...
I've never heard of this, actually.
It's an iPhone app. I don't know if they have it on Android or not. It's like one of the first apps that they really put on their app store.
Okay.
And it was only 99 cents. I picked it up because I was like, I don't know. I'm scared of spiders, but I'll give it a try.
Okay.
And
So
it's
what's it
like...
about?
It's actually really cool. You're basically... You it really uses like the touch... you flick your finger and the spider jumps from one part of the wall to the other side of the wall, and then you kind of spin webs.
Okay.
And you try to catch all these flies, basically.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a puzzle game because you're only allowed to use so much web, and if you jump too much, then it will break the web.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then
you only use so much per jump.
Right, exactly. Okay. So it's very much a puzzle game and trying to get them. And you know what? It took me about a couple of days, few days probably, maybe 3 days, 4 days, something like that to beat it.
Yeah.
But it was nice. I would just sit at, whenever I was just bored doing something, sitting in an office waiting to do something, or not like working in an office. I'm saying like maybe I was like going to the doctor or something like that. I'd play it. I don't know. It was just really nice, and it was the first like real iPhone app that I ever played. And at that time they weren't doing like the real full like 3D. Games, even though I don't really play those on iPhones because it's just not meant for it. They don't have the buttons. You're trying to use I don't like that.
Yeah,
stuff.
A lot of people don't like those touchscreen controls.
Yeah,
it depends on the game. Like the game like Plants vs Zombies, for example, is great for the touchscreen.
Oh, it is. I love that game.
Tower defense games work really well in that.
If that was an indie game, that was what I would pick as my number one because it's Plant. It is.
Oh yes.
Popcom. PopCap.
Yeah.
That's an indie game.
Yeah.
Screw.
That's all right.
All right. Well,
we still got
then we'll replace it with one of my other ones that we're going to talk about. We'll go back to it. So yeah, but Spider, it's a good game. It's only 99 cents. I enjoyed it. It's just a nice like sit down and relax kind of game. So go on to yours.
So I want to talk about this game. Technically, there's two of them, and the one I'm going to talk about the second one's called Shank 2. Mm-hmm. I started playing this last year, man. It is freaking awesome. It is a side-scrolling game.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of it's like a beat 'em up, side scroller beat 'em up. Okay. Think Double Dragon kind of deals, but it's got like that sort of flash animation, that new animation that's come out over the last 10 years or so, where it's kind of got like those hard edges and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you play this guy, and I don't know if he's a convict or what his real deal is, but the idea is that you're playing this guy who was a gang member. Okay, he was like part of this big gang in Mexico, and then he got betrayed. Okay, and his girlfriend was killed. So he gets like really pissed off, and this guy's named Shank. And so what you're doing is you're going through and you're just fighting all these henchmen. But he fights with literally a shank, which is a shard of glass. And this is how he fights. He's got two of them in his hands, and he just fights with that. And it's some of the animations are so like bizarre because you can pick up shotguns, you can pick up a machete, and then if you get like real close to him, he'll do like insta kills. One of his insta kills is just real quick. He goes like behind a guy, you pick him up, and then you just put the shotgun right to his face, and you hit the trigger, and just blows the head up.
Whoa!
It is insane. It's insane. It's so good. And then the machete just like cuts them in half, or it'll cut like a head off, and the head will just bob away. It's so good. And then the boss battles are really challenging. And what I found about this game is my friend Steve and I, we played it last year. We played through the first one.
Yeah.
Because it had a co-op campaign, and we had so much fun with it. We literally sat there for hours playing this. Now him and I play a lot of beat 'em ups, anyways. Like we've done the Double Dragon Neon, and we've done a lot of those newer ones that have come out. Him and I play through Streets of Rage on occasion.
Right.
So we've always kind of liked those like old school games. It's kind of he's my old school gamer buddy that I play with. And yeah, playing that game is just fantastic. I if anybody's got the time, I'd absolutely recommend it, especially if you've got a buddy. For the second Shank 2, they don't have a campaign. Instead, they have like a their own version of Horde mode is really what it is. And Horde mode from Gears of War is what I mean. Like, you just keep getting thrown guys at you. There's 3 different stages, and you guys can choose a character, and then it's to see how long you can survive. There's like 40 waves.
Survival mode, yeah.
Yes, and we've only gotten up to level 20. And we played this for hours at one point, just hours and days, just kept trying to beat it, but it gets really hard towards the end. So yeah, definitely a game I would definitely recommend, 100%.
I don't know if I'd like it or not. I'm very picky on my games. I am pretty picky.
When we come to our shut-in, you're going to have to try it, so then you'll be able to tell
There are a lot of games that I'm more than happy to try, but only to a point.
Yes,
what I mean by that is that, like, I've tried... I'm very difficult to play with on multiplayer shooting games. Like, you will not see me play Gears of War or Halo.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
It's
it's so hard for me. As I said, I'm used to like Nintendo controller, so I've only just got into like Xbox or PlayStation. Yeah.
What I find, like when I've had girlfriends in the past, I've tried to get into it.
Yeah.
It's the idea that one stick's moving you, strafing left and right, moving forward, and the other one's your aim.
I'm much easier with it on the PC.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
I'm much easier with the PC. The controllers for actual like Xbox or PlayStation is a lot harder for me to play. Someone tried to have me play one of the Resident Evil games on the PlayStation 3, and I was suffers McGee. On top of that, those things will literally eat you alive. I was so bad that he never invited me over to play a game again. That's how bad I was.
Well, the games that you and I are going to try are not going to be games like FPS.
Right. I mean, because I love like the Batman games. I mean, but those aren't like hard skill. I mean, that's just fun.
Yeah.
It's not about skill.
Games, you're doing the two trigger thing. And
yeah, but it doesn't seem to me. I don't know. Like
maybe it just clears a different section. For
I guess. Yeah, I guess. I mean, because I have to say that like I might not be good at those things, but at least I'm good at like platformers, and I'm good with like Zelda games, and like story games, and I love Telltale games, which those aren't really hard to play, really.
Right.
They're just more of interactive movies.
Those are more interactive movies, yeah.
Yeah. But I do have to say that I want to just bring this up real quick, is that it was so funny that you cannot play Mario games for the life of you.
Oh, yeah. I've never been good at platformers. What happens is I get this, like, when you get to a level, and my best example of this is Super Mario Brothers, the first one.
Yeah.
There's a level where you're basically jumping on top of giant mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, when you have to jump from one place to the other, my stomach churns inside. Like, it is uncomfortable for me to do those platformers.
Oh, I know.
And I've never been good at them, and I can't do it. I've beaten Super Mario Brothers, but like I still, to this day, like you play those platformers, and I'm just.
Well, I just remember it was you, me, my girlfriend, and Brendan.
Yes.
And you just.
I was fucking with them most of the time, though. Like, to be honest with you, because I noticed that your buddy Brendan was not very happy with me because I kept bubbling.
Yeah.
Like, I can't figure this out, bubble.
Yeah.
When you bubble, that just means you do nothing.
And you know what? It is not easy to aggravate Brendan. I've only seen him aggravated maybe a handful of times.
Oh,
and I've known him since I was 9 years old. Yeah. And, I mean, I see him at least once a week. I mean, I talk to him every single night, basically. And I've only seen him aggravated a handful of times. He's seen me aggravated 1,000 times, I'm sure. But it's very hard to aggravate him. So, bravo on that one.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
welcome.
It
was an accomplishment. And I was so happy because he was getting so angry, and I'd still be like, "Oh, you're angry? Bubble.
Yep.
You still angry? Bubble. Oh, so this is the part where you want me to bubble? I'll just be alive for this part then."
Oh man, I'm just gonna follow my death. All right. Yeah, we're gonna go to. I'm gonna go to Plants vs Zombies. This is another iPhone. I played it on the iPhone. Actually, I think I started playing it on the computer. I might have played it on the PC. I might have played the PC version first.
Yep. They're all pretty much the same.
And I got really addicted to it, but I was like, oh man, I have to go to work, whatever. Yeah. And then I realized it was on the iPhone, so I ended up getting it on the iPhone too. And it was only, like $2?
Yeah.
So I ended up getting it for the iPhone, and just playing at work. I mean, I had to start over. But I've beat the game like 3 times.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I finished it the first time, and then I was like, all right, I'm good, I'm done.
I mean, that's basically, it's just that for some reason, I was so obsessed with that game. I played it for quite a few weeks. It was just fun. It's just a fun game.
It is a fun game. My problem with getting the games like that, and when I got to restart, is I restart, but I'm like, there's no challenge anymore. Because like those last couple of levels, you got to really think, and you're really like trying to put a strategy together, and then you got to go back through and you got to kind of trug through the first.
I get so proud of myself because, once you get thrown into like a new situation, I'm like, oh man, this is scary. But then I find that way of doing it once I play it for the first time, and then I'm smooth sailing. So I mean, I love Plants vs Zombies. I started playing the second one right when it came out because it was for free. Yeah. Obviously, because you could buy it was basically like you could get DLCs for it.
Right.
Downloadable content. So I didn't end up. I mean, I got a couple of things. I mean, like $1, $2, whatever. Yeah. And I think halfway through the game.
Yeah.
And I've been so busy. As I said, I haven't played a game since then.
Yep.
And I did it like right when it came out. Like I think at the end of this, or maybe around the middle of the summer was when it came out. I think.
Yeah. Probably
around
about
there.
that, yeah.
Plants vs Zombies 2.
It came out in Australia first. I think,
Yeah, I was so
March
excited
House,
for it because I didn't know. I knew that they would eventually make a second one because I had played through the first one last year is when I got into it. So I was so excited for the second one to come out, and when it came out,
that was a massive hit for them.
Yeah,
that's what put them on the map, really. And then after that, they just started making everything else.
Well, Bejeweled was
Bejeweled's
really
always
there.
been big, yeah.
That I mean, I liked Bejeweled. I mean, when I was younger, when I was like in high school, I used to love playing Bejeweled. My mom used to play it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two of us would basically be sitting
you
there.
just switch to like diamonds and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've made so many freaking rip-offs
Yeah.
of that freaking game. It's like, oh, I like Candy Crush. Oh, I like this. And it's like, it's the same freaking game.
Yeah, over and over
just
again.
buy Bejeweled.
Yeah, but you can say that about any genre, really. That's just a puzzle. In that case,
It's kind of like Brick Breaker.
Yeah.
Or Tetris.
Yeah.
They're all very similar games. Brick Breaker's a little bit harder, though, I think, out of those games. I would have to say Brick Breaker's probably I used to like... the version of Brick Breaker I used to play is Blaster Ball.
Okay.
Which I really liked. Blaster Ball 3, was it? Was it 3 or 2?
I don't know.
2. It was number 2. I was asking Brendan, and
okay.
he gave me the signal. He put up 2 fingers, so... he would know, because he used... I remember we used to play a lot on my computer at home when I had like a desktop computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like long time ago, and he used to love the music to it. The music was actually very good. I like the music, but I never bought the full thing. I only had levels 1 and 2, 1 through 10. The first world.
Okay.
Yeah. So Plants vs Zombies. I love it. So yeah.
Great game.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Up to you.
Well, let's move on. We'll go to so my next one I'm up is Costume Quest, which if anybody hasn't played this, it's done by Double Fine.
Okay.
And I've been a fan of Double Fine since I'll be honest, I did not do Psychonauts, which I think is what they're really that's sort of their big title.
Both of these games,
Yeah.
Costume Quest and Psychonauts, I was thinking about playing these games, and I just haven't.
Yeah. And then the other one,
yet.
like I've been a fan since Brutal Legend when they came out with that. What was it, like first year in Xbox or something like that?
Yeah.
And that game was fantastic. I mean, first of all, I love Jack Black, and then you get all that kind of rock kind of scenes and whatnot. But with Costume Quest's great. It's really meant to be played in October. You play it around Halloween, because the whole concept is that it's Halloween night.
Yeah.
Okay, and these goblins come into this town.
Yeah.
And they're trying to steal all the candy because this is like their money. This is their value. Okay, this is how they live, is with the candy. So they trade candy out for points and all that. Okay. So that's what the goblins do that, and then what happens is your sister dresses up as a candy cane.
Okay.
And the goblins steal her.
Oh, geez.
So now, and she's your little sister, and you're like a 6-year-old kid yourself. So you grab a couple of your buddies around the town, and you're like, oh, we gotta go get my little sister. She's a pain. She's a little brat or whatever. And then what you gotta do is you go in and knock on all the houses. Okay,
yeah.
So you're like trick-or-treating. And there's a 50-50 chance of you getting either a goblin or a guy, just a regular guy. If you get a regular guy, you get 50 pieces of candy. If you get a goblin, they jump out at you, and then it flashes to like this RPG scene, like how like Final Fantasy kind of deal, where you got your team on one side, theirs on the other.
Yeah.
And then any costume you're wearing has been like decked out now. So if you're like in a knight costume, when you're in the real world, so to speak, it's just like a plastic helmet or whatever. But when you become like a knight, you become like a knight, and you've got like the metal armor, and you've got a big shield, and you've got a huge sword, and you've got like all sorts of abilities, and it's really cool. I really, really enjoyed this game. It's only about 6 hours to play through. Very simple kind of concept, but it's great for Halloween. It's just such a good Halloween game, and that's what I was playing. It was last month. I finally finished it. And they've got a really cool, like, the people you fight and the mages and all these different costumes with different abilities. Like so, like a knight's big on defense. They've got a pumpkin character that's like really big on attack stats.
Yeah.
And then they've got like the Statue of Liberty is a character you can be, and she's like a healer, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
She like she jumps up in the air, and then there's just this big flash round of the American flag in the back with like an eagle, and then George Washington, and they're circling around her, and then all of a sudden everybody gets 50 points of health.
Well, I love RPG games, so
yeah, and that's exactly what.
And it's so funny because I was like, you know what? I think I actually own this game on my PC. So as Jeremy was talking, because my computer's up, because that's what we're using to record. Yep,
you brought it up.
I do. I have it. I'm downloading it right now. It's at 45% on Steam, so I'm gonna have to play it.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's fun. It
looks like something I would like, and I remember I did want to play it. I just never had the chance, and I think I got it for like $2 because I don't know if you know if you've ever used Steam, but a lot of their prices
Yeah, I've heard a lot of their prices are pretty insanely good.
Yeah, sometimes they have some really awesome deals, and so you can get,
heard.
let's just say that, like, I think I got Arkham City for $20 when it first came out.
Really?
Because it was like, I think 2 weeks after it came out, which was,
it
was like still, at the time, it was still $60.
Yeah, still $60, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I've always been a console guy, that's why I haven't gotten anything like that.
Yeah.
But
I like PC, so
yeah.
I do like the PC, because I can control, I feel like I can do a lot better. I can do a lot more of the games that require more skill.
Yeah.
And be able to actually
control
them.
a lot of people find the controls easier with the PCs.
So it makes me feel better about, because I like being able to play games. I'm just not skilled at specific things. So, anyways, so that's Cosmic Quest. So yeah, I really want to play that. And my last one is Dungeon Defenders.
Dungeon Defenders.
I was living in New York at the time. I didn't know anybody in New York. My girlfriend was off in college, so she was doing her own thing. Busy. And yeah, she was busy. Not her fault, but she was busy. I mean, she was a very dedicated studier and at the library and going to work and going to school. So, I mean, she was just busy.
Yep.
And all I had was work. And I'd come home, I'd work for like 5 hours, and I'd come home and I'd be alone all day. So, started Skyping with my friend Brendan. And he said, do you want to, we should try PC gaming.
Right.
We can play online. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not really a big PC gamer.
Yep.
And I said, I really only play Nintendo. And he said, come on. So he basically convinced me to download Dungeon Defenders.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back. It's just one of my favorite games. It's another tower defense game, just like Plants vs. Zombies. And I've played this before I played Plants vs. Zombies. I love Dungeon Defenders. I mean, I can't really tell you too much about it, really, because I don't really remember the story too much. It was just fun to play.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a wizard and a soldier and a hunter and something else. There was one other thing.
Yeah, it's a tower defense. So there's people coming in.
It's tower defense, yeah. And basically, there's like all these portals that these goblins and trolls and all these things come out. All kind of very Lord of the Rings-esque kind of world, and they all can do specific things. Like if you're the wizard, you can put up like shields and stuff like that from stopping them from moving forward. They all you're basically defending this crystal.
Okay.
And then, after a while, you start defending 2 crystals, and then 3, and then it's a point where you're defending like 7 crystals. I mean, and that's not until like way later. You can beat the over arc of it, and the DLCs they come on, and you're like, oh, I'd love to play the DLCs because they're a continuation of the story, and it's really exciting. But after I beat the game, which took me and Brendan a couple of months, I have to say, probably maybe a month. Maybe it took us about a month to finish it together. You were required to be at level, like, 50 to start doing these DLCs. But by the time you're finished with the actual thing, you're only at level, like, 37 or 40. So you have, like, 20 more levels to go, and it takes forever. Like, it could take, like, okay, say, like, a level takes about a half hour to beat, like, one of the last levels.
Yeah.
It takes about a half hour to beat. You need to go a half-hour level just to get to another level.
Huh.
So, half hour every level,
it's
and
grinding. There's some grinding involved.
It's a lot of. It's basically like when you're up to the next gym in Pokemon, and you need to grind.
You gotta grind
all of your Pokemon to the
grinding.
like.
See, that's why I don't do RPGs. I can't stand.
And it's an RPG. It's an RPG tower defense because you're not also building towers. You can also attack them yourselves.
Okay.
So when your towers are doing shit, you're also running around doing a first-person shooter RPG kind of thing too. So there's a lot of combat going on. You either have a sword or you have a staff or you have a crossbow.
Similar to Brutal Legend. To be honest with you.
It's really an awesome game, and I love the game, but once you beat the over-arc, unless you're really dedicated to spend like a good 50 hours on just building your team up, then you're not going to be able to do the downloadable content, which I bought all of it.
Of course you did.
And then I never got to play it because we would try to play it and we would die within 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Before
right.
It was horrible. So what's your last one?
You know what? I think I'm going to do pinball, actually, of all things, because I freaking fell in love. Have you played the Zen pinball that they've come out with recently?
Zen pinball.
It's called Zen 2, and it's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox. What I love about this, my friend Steve and I play these religiously, and I have a Vita, or I had a Vita before the house went down, and it's all I would play on it. It's just pinball constantly because they give you all sorts of really cool tables. So I have a PlayStation Plus account, and with the Plus account, they give you a free game every week.
Yeah.
And one of the times what they gave me the marble tables, which the marble tables is like there's a Peter Parker pinball table, there's a Thor one, there's a Blade one, there's a Wolverine, there's an X-Men, there's just as a Ghost Rider. Yeah. So like you play through these games and it's really cool because it's a pinball table, right?
Yeah.
But because it's a video game, they realize it's a video game, they actually have the characters on the screen. So like Wolverine might be standing on top of the glass table, and if you do certain things, he'll go in and like. So I'll use the Wolverine as an example. Sabretooth sits in the center up top.
Yeah.
Okay. And he just kind of like keeps antagonizing Wolverine throughout the whole thing. He's like, "Come on, Runt, bring it on! Come on, you gotta fight me!" And the way that you gotta get in there is you gotta get the pinball into. There's like a little circle underneath him.
Yeah.
And you gotta get in there. It's almost like a small little slot. You get in there and it rolls around and it like counts down the number of days.
Yeah.
Till the next annual issue, because in Wolverine usually fights Sabretooth in the annual comic book every year.
Yeah.
So like when they come out with the Wolverine comic every year, that's when he fights him. So like it literally, as it spins around, each time it hits a certain lever, it counts down the days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from 365. And then when you finally get to it, Wolverine will jump from the bottom left corner of the screen onto the center of the screen, and they will literally fight each other. And then you have to do certain things on the table to make Wolverine win or Sabretooth win.
Oh, okay.
And I really enjoy this. I mean, the ones I've been getting really into lately is they've released a couple Star Wars tables.
Yeah.
So they have episode 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so when that one's fantastic. With that one, what you do is there's different scenes you can unlock. So you might be doing the training with Yoda, with Luke, and what will happen is in the middle of the screen, Luke will like jump up out of the screen, and then all of a sudden he'll have like, do you remember the scene where he's lifting, he's sort of on a rock upside down, and he's got the 2 rocks on his feet, and he's trying to concentrate? Yeah, they have to play that scene out, but while you play pinball. And the way you do that is you have to get into like Yoda's he's got a little hut in the table. Yeah. You gotta get in the hut, and then you gotta get it like around, and it's just different things will do different things. Then you'll unlock the next stage. The next stage is like TIE fighters. So now you're going through the asteroid scene, and the way you gotta do that is you gotta get TIE fighters like running around in a ramp, and you gotta like go above the TIE fighters, and now you gotta come down and around. It's just, the game is so fantastic, and all these tables are so unique. And what's great about it is they upload the scores. Okay, for you and your friends. So like Steve and I are the only ones that really play this right now, but it keeps track, and it's like, oh well, Steve. Next time you log in, it'll say, Steve got number 1 last night. So he's got like 4 million on your last table. What are you gonna do about it? And you have to keep challenging each other, keep getting like the leaderboard for our friends, right? Yeah. And then on top of that, because you're both playing it, they give you additional points, like a team score point that you can keep that keeps adding up and whatnot. It's a great series. I love it. Steve and I play religiously. He's the one that really got me into it at first, and I still play it constantly.
Oh, so, I'll have to try it.
Yeah, definitely something worth trying. Oh, you'll try it. I'm going to bring my PlayStation over on our 24-hour shebang, and that will be one of the things we'll do. So
yeah, sounds good. Okay, so we did the top 6 indie games. That was good.
That was good.
There was some good games on there.
There was some decent games on there.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to move on to Game of the Week. Actually, you know what? We're going to take some break from the movies. Let's go to Movie of the Week. How's that?
Okay, Movie of the Week.
All right, here we go. Movie of the Week.
All right.
Yeah.
What movie are we doing this week, Chad?
Apparently singing for all of the segments.
Oh, yeah? Is that a new thing?
Yeah. Well, apparently.
You know, it's because you're in your play. You need to get the exercise. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. So what movie are we doing?
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, yes.
Man of Steel. Superman.
It is sort of appropriate because, as you said, it came out.
It came out this week on DVD, and if we don't do it now, we'll never be able to talk about it.
That's true, and it's one of your favorite movies at this point.
I mean, you can't. No, I can't not talk about it.
Okay.
Because
So what do we want to do this in? Do you want to do this spoiler free, or do you want to do this with spoilers?
It's going to be spoilers.
Spoilers, okay. So anybody that's going to be listening to this, spoilers about Man of Steel if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah.
All right.
So, tough shit.
Okay.
If you haven't seen this yet, then you don't deserve to listen to my podcast.
Wow, that is not true at all.
Okay. It's not?
No. It's a good film, but it's not a great film.
I know. Well, Jeremy wasn't crazy about it. I mean, I guess I'm just a Superman fan, so
Yeah,
I mean,
you're a big Superman guy, so like this one hits.
Yeah, this was just. I've been waiting for this for so long because ever since Superman Returns, I just after that happened, I said, "Oh my God, they'll never make another one ever again."
Yes,
because Superman Returns, I think that went worse. Almost no, I think it went just as worse, or maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I'm not sure. As Green Lantern.
Yeah. Green Lantern, I was talking to Steve about this the other day. I actually did not mind that movie. It's fun. I think people expected it to be a little bit more like along the lines of the Dark Knight, and it just wasn't. It was dark. It was very fun for me.
The only positive thing I have about that Green Lantern is that I thought Ryan Reynolds is perfect for Hal Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's more of a fun kind of film. It's not.
That's
it's not
just
a Dark
like when I say
film.
right, and that's just like when I say that everyone's really pissed about Ben Affleck being Batman, and I'm like, dude, he was kick-ass as Daredevil.
Yes,
did an amazing job as Daredevil.
His character, by the way, his Batman is supposed to be an older Batman. It's not the Batman that just starts out and is figuring out the world. No, it's supposed to be like a grizzly kind of new kind of Batman.
Yeah.
I like the idea that like this Batman's supposed to be in his
I'm
40s.
really excited about it. I'm not gonna. I know I'm not gonna be disappointed.
And I mean, I've seen pictures of him lately. You can tell since he took on the role, he's put on like 20 pounds of muscle. I saw like a picture of him the other day. I'm like, holy crap! What the?
Ben Affleck is a very dedicated actor.
Yeah,
I do. So, I actually really do like Ben Affleck. When everyone found out that it was going to be him, I was really excited. He's a comic
book nerd. This makes perfect sense.
I know it really does.
And he's in shape. It's not like we're asking Kevin Smith to play Batman. Like Kevin Smith's a great guy, and we love him to death. And he would probably know Batman inside and out. He's his favorite character of all time. He's a major comic book nerd. But the guy is like 300 pounds. Ben Affleck's in shape. Yep. He's the right age for the character. It's perfect.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it.
Yes.
So back to Superman.
Yeah.
Back to Superman. I loved this story. I thought it was... I have to say that I was sad that it was going to be an origin story because I'm sick and tired of listening.
They didn't spend a lot of time on the story.
No, and they didn't. But I'm sick and tired of watching origin stories for superheroes when I've seen them 1,000 times. It's like, how many pilots have I seen for Superman shows or Superman cartoons or Superman movies where it's just like they tell the story of when he's in Smallville and he finds out that he can fly, whatever. It's just like, I'm done. Same with Batman, same with any comic book character. I'm like, I don't want an origin story anymore. But at the same time, they have to keep doing it because these characters need to be able to, be introduced to new generations. So I do understand it. It's just a pain because there's so many.
With me, my problem with this is actually that there was not enough story to this. It just felt too action-packed for me. Because, like, they'd be, like, battling. They'd just fight and fight and fight and fight. And I'd get, like, 4 minutes of them talking to each other before somebody else punches somebody else in the face. And then all of a sudden, this epic fight. And then just the same thing happens again and again and again. And then it just culminates with this scene at the end of the movie where, first of all, that whole freaking city's destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, there's not even, like, they went and they kind of handled this out in the streets. No. They fucking knocked out Metropolis. It does not exist anymore.
And everyone was so happy with Superman, but it's like,
the
dude,
equivalent
you just destroyed
of
our
taking a
city.
nuclear bomb and setting it on that city.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, thank you, Superman, you helped me so much. No, you didn't. You fucked us all. Like, what the hell, dude? And then they made him too dark for me. Like, Superman, I like Batman being dark. Batman's a character that's born to be dark. He's the Dark Knight. He's built for the nighttime. Superman is always supposed to be the opposite of that. He's supposed to be the one guy, always does good. Yes, he struggles through it, but he is the quintessential hero.
And I think the problem is that because they tried to make Superman Returns, when they made it, it was supposed to be a continuation of the Christopher Reeve.
Yes.
It was a I mean, it had the same intro music, and everything. But the problem is that, and they felt it, not just with the story, but it was too light.
Yeah.
And times are different now. Superheroes are not light like that anymore. They're just not.
Superman is.
And
he's not. There's been some real good issues.
I mean, but listen, I think that they did a really good job balancing it out, bringing that darkness that we all we're kind of like, that's where we are right now with superheroes. Is like a lot of superheroes are not like that anymore. Like the Christopher Reeve, I compare it to Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, but they some of them are.
But he still was very moral.
Yeah,
I still saw him being extremely moral. Definitely not as cheesy as Christopher Reeve is. Definitely not Christopher Reeve Superman. I mean, if you know me, I am obsessed with Christopher Reeve. I mean, when he died, the day that he died, when I found out I was in school, my mom called me and
to make
told
sure.
me
It was like your 9/11.
Yeah, and I was in tears like all day. I was so mad and I was so upset because Christopher Reeve is like my hero.
Yeah.
You know, and because he was the first Superman that was really introduced to me, really.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that. But for me, I thought the movie was really good. I thought that at the time when I first watched it, I felt like they spent so much time on the story. I was like, wow, there's really for me, it was the opposite. I was like, wow, there's a lot of story here, and not a lot of. Yeah, no,
listen.
We're
watching the same film.
I don't know. Maybe it just felt like in the beginning, and then at the end, like the last hour, is just all action.
It's like
but in the beginning, I was like, wow, this is like a lot of. Story.
My problem with that movie again is like you mentioned the action thing. No, you could be right, dude. There's no right or wrong here. Your opinion is what it is. My opinion is that they did not spend enough time. Like when the Lois Lane. Okay, first of all, love that chick. Love that girl.
Amy Adams.
Yes, sir. That chick is where it's at.
Oh, and okay. Can I just interrupt you?
Yes.
Really quick. My favorite thing about this movie. My favorite fucking thing about this movie. Yeah. And I even swore that's how excited I am about it. Was that. Right off the bat, Lois Lane knew that Clark Kent was Superman. And because I have had enough of Lois not knowing.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's so many stories where, like, you start off with, like, a Superman or any superhero, and there's always that girl that's involved, and she's like, oh, my God, I love you. But then they're so finicky, like, oh, I'm sorry, I missed our date. And then they get annoying.
Yeah.
They get annoying because they're just like, well, I don't understand why you couldn't be here.
It's the classic superhero thing.
I know, and I'm just tired of it, and that's what I'm saying, and I'm so glad that they got rid of it.
Because Spider-Man has to hide his identity, and
right?
Superman has to do the same thing. It's understandable. The concept behind it's understandable.
I get it. I'm just saying
that
I was
fast-forwarded through that.
I'm so happy they just got rid of that because it made because I always find that when female characters find out, or any character finds out about a superhero's identity. Mm-hmm. They just kick into high gear and are able to be more involved. They get to be involved in the action a lot more. Like I found, like when I was watching Smallville, when Lois or when Lana found out, they started doing action scenes because they started like, well, if you're going to be involved, I'm going to do it too, and they try to become
a superhero.
Become a superhero to a certain extent. And I mean, in the Smallville, Lana became the Phoenix, and she's just awesome in that.
Right.
You know, and Lana just like kicks ass. You know, always doing things, and she's not the damsel in distress anymore. She's just there helping him and supporting him, and it makes those characters not annoying at all, but amazing contributions. Is that right, the word? Contributions. Thank you.
You're so close.
I know. Yeah. I was so close, and yet so far away.
Well, actually, and this is where we're going to disagree again, because that whole time I'm like, and again, I love Amy Adams, so like I love her for that, but the whole time I'm like, why do I give a shit about this character? All she's doing is getting caught. All she's doing is like, there's no emotional impact there for me. And that's what I did not like about this film. I did not feel the impact. My biggest example of that would be for when, in The Dark Knight.
Yes.
Okay. When Batman loses his love life.
Yeah.
Like when she died, you felt it. You were like, holy shit. Superman, alright, so how do you feel about Zod?
I really loved that I actually really liked the way they wrote that character.
Yeah. I really did. Agree with you on that.
I really did.
I felt for Zod. I understand
did,
where you're coming from, dude.
You knew that it was, especially because of how they created them. Mm-hmm. He was made not by a mom and dad. He was made by...
His job is to be the protector.
His job was to do that, and it wasn't that he was a bad person. And that's what I love about... I think my favorite villains are the ones that aren't quote-unquote evil. They're the ones that are doing what they think is the best for mankind or for their kind or for them. You know, they're not doing it to be evil. They make the hard decisions. It's just like how I don't like Shane a lot of the time, and yet you can say... I'm talking about Walking Dead. Walking Dead. I hate Shane, but at the same time, you understand where Shane's coming from. He's making the hard decisions that other... quote-unquote good guys will not do.
Right. It's just like they just take that one extra step, and that's what it takes. And you see that even in like a show like The Walking Dead or something like that. It always starts with little steps. And it's just that these characters that are villains in comic books, they're always those characters that start out in a good spot. They always want to be somewhere good. But it's just that one extra step, like just that one little step, one little piece at a time causes them to become who they are.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of it.
Yeah.
I did like Zod. I thought that the way that ended with him and Superman, though, was just, it was too much. Much. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
For me, it was just so epic. I've been waiting for this so long. I loved the action scenes. I loved the beginning. I thought the beginning took just enough time with the story. I thought that the story was really elaborate. I loved every character. I loved every decision they made.
This is where I'm going to get upset, okay? Is if Batman and Superman comes out, or Superman versus Batman, whatever they want to call it. When that comes out, if they don't even make a recognition, now I'm doing it, you son of a bitch.
I'm sorry.
If they don't even recognize the amount of damage that Superman and Zod caused, if they're just like, oh, Metropolis is rebuilt, I'm going to be like, bullshit, I'm not watching this movie. And I love Batman films, but I'm literally going to be like, you know what? There's no realism here. Because they should feel an emotional impact for destroying what is basically the New York City of the DC universe.
Yeah.
Like, there's no freaking way they just get up from
that. Do you like the Christopher Reeve Superman movies?
I like some of them.
I don't like the third and fourth one are horrible. I'm going to be real with you. I watch them still. I'll watch them every year just because I watch all of them.
I thought the first one was okay, but even the idea, all he really did in that movie is he lifted up a freaking crater. It's like, oh yeah,
I have to say, I just
retarded.
love Christopher Reeve because I, to a certain extent, only reason I love this movie because I think that Christopher Reeve did an amazing job portraying Superman.
Yeah.
The way that he should be portrayed.
Okay.
Which is moral, gentle, and you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Yeah. I thought, and he pulled off that costume so well because nowadays you couldn't have anybody put in that costume; they would just look silly.
Yeah,
we would just laugh at them. No one would wear that costume anymore. That's why they have to have the texture or the leather, stuff like that. They couldn't put on spandex and be okay with it.
Well, nowadays too, people expect their superheroes to be freaking massive.
Yeah,
too.
And he just pulled that costume off really well. And I have to say, my favorite one is obviously the second one with. Yeah. You remember the second one? Yeah, it was Zod. I thought that one was actually really good. Yeah. And it's they wrote the first two together. And filmed it all together.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. Yeah, those are clear continuations of each other.
Yeah, the third and fourth one was just the third and fourth one were horrible. The fourth one was the worst. The third one wasn't horrible.
And the weird part is, I want to say I don't like Superman.
Yeah.
But when I read his comics, I really enjoy him. Or when I watch some movies like Superman Unbound, those cartoon movies, I'm always this is such a fantastic character.
The first few movies that the DC made, the PG cartoons, the PG-13 cartoons.
Yeah.
Like the first one they did was Superman Doomsday. I thought it was horrible.
Even
they did Justice League, New Frontier. I didn't like it.
No.
I also didn't. That one yet. Yeah, I didn't. I also that was the second one they did.
Yep.
Then the third one they did was Batman Dark Knight. It was when the Dark Knight had come out.
Yeah.
With Joker, and they did a 6 short films.
Yeah, it was
style.
It was like the Matrix, the Animatrix. It was that kind of thing with Batman. Now.
And that wasn't bad. And I didn't start. I thought that they hit their stride. What I loved
about that series, by the way, was that 6 episodes. Yeah. They brought in characters and explained them within Christopher Nolan's universe. So Killer Croc was in it.
Yeah.
And I love that they were able to explain why he still looks like a crocodile in that cartoon series. I was like, this is fantastic.
I liked they were all kind of intertwined in some way, but they were all their own separate cartoons.
All their own separate cartoons.
Yeah. But my favorite, I think that they hit their stride at the Red Hood. Batman the Red Hood. And that ever since then,
was a great one.
the Red Hood and the Dark Knight Rises, or Returns, Returns, part 1 and 2. Oh.
Those were good.
Yep.
They're gonna redoing the one that comes after that, which I think it's the Dark Knight Strikes Again, or
they have to now because it was just a big success.
It was a great film.
Yeah.
And I'll give you that, like Superman, All-Star Superman, I remember watching that, and that's really more about his morals than anything else because he's dying in that film and yada yada.
Yeah.
Superman is dying in that film. And just kind of watching him become, just a good guy.
Yeah.
I like that character. I don't know. It's just when they translate it to live action, I was like, fuck this.
You know what I want really bad? And this is the last thing we're going to say, and then we're going to move on to Game of the Week. But the one thing that I would love DC cartoons, like the cartoon films and stuff like that, to explore a bit more, is I would love for them to do some more on Batman Beyond. Because I thought that was...
They have been doing more on that.
I know they do. I know they do the comic book, the New 52.
That's new. Like that's the ongoing series.
Right, exactly. They did the New 52, and they had the Batman Beyond. They also had Superman Beyond and Justice League Beyond. They did 3 different Beyonds.
Yes, that series is done. Like that whole like continuum is over. It was overseen by a guy, I think it was Tim something, and he's done with that series. Like he ended it with
Tim Bruce.
Was that him?
The guy that does the cartoons?
Yeah.
Tim Bruce?
He was like the overarching guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's done. He finished the series out with, what was it, Justice League Unlimited? That was his final series.
Yeah.
Like so that whole chapter, and that started with Batman, the original series in the 90s.
And then it did Superman, and then he did Batman Beyond.
Yep.
And has the same characters do the voices for everything.
And then they did Justice League.
And Justice League, and then Static Shock, and Justice League Unlimited had Static Shock and Batman Beyond.
Yes,
and if
they
you remember,
finished off the stories in those.
Yes, they did, which I thought was awesome because you find out that Bruce Wayne is Terry's father.
Yeah, and it's cool too because when they go back and they see him, it's not Terry in high school anymore. He's a little bit older.
Yeah,
he's kind of like built out.
And they had the same guy, really the guy that plays Eric from Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
comes back and does the voice. Yeah. That's my favorite thing about Bruce Timm cartoons. And Bruce Timm, he has done a couple of things after that because he was in charge of a lot of the DC
that series
movies.
Is over.
But
the continuation on that series is done. He said it himself. He's like, I'm out. This is it. I ended the series. So anything else that comes out, like, your Batman Brave and the Bold or the new Batman series that's out, the Batman, those are not continuations. They're brand new series. Relaunches.
But I loved that universe, and I'm so happy.
A lot of people loved it.
I loved that he had so many shows that spanned through, 15, 20 years, and they were all in the same universe, and they were high quality, and they were for kids, but they were also for adults, and they had the same voice actors.
Like, Batman won an Emmy.
Yeah.
Batman the Animated Series won an Emmy. I think it was the second or third year it was out.
Well, I watched it when I was a kid.
Good.
I watched it when I was a kid.
It's a kid's... It aired on Saturday mornings, but it was not built as a kid's film.
Yeah, it was... Oh, Bruce Timm, I love him to death. He makes amazing...
I'm wondering if we have that name right. That doesn't sound right.
It's Bruce Timm.
Are you sure?
I am sure. I have Batman the Animated Series, the box set.
Yeah, I do too. I have all.
I also have all the Superman ones. I have all the Justice League. I have all the Batman Beyond.
I have the Justice League. I don't have the Batman Beyond or the Justice League Unlimited because they're on Netflix. So I was like, "Fuck it." I'll just
Justice League Unlimited, I do have, but I had that before I knew that Netflix had it. So, really, the only episodes that are worth watching on Justice League Unlimited is the one with Static Shock and Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Batman.
I mean,
Terry.
you still got to get through them. Though. You still got to.
I know, but I'm just saying that those are really the only ones that are worth it because the other ones, I think those are the only disappointing episodes I ever really got from Bruce Timm were Justice League Unlimited. I wasn't really crazy about that series. All right, so let's go on to Game of the Week. Here we go. So we're on to Game of the Week. Game of the Week. Game of the Week.
Here's my game this week, dude. I've been playing this game. It's freaking awesome.
I have to say that I have seen the trailers for the first three. When they were on Steam, and I almost got them, but I don't know. It just didn't seem like something I would be.
You're missing out even on the first. I've played 2, 3, and now 4. The game we're talking about, is Saints Row. So I'm on Saints Row 4 now. And what's great about this, I've played 2, I played 3, and I played 4. And I played 2 and 3 because PlayStation gave those to me for free. And part 2 really feels like the old Grand Theft Auto games. It feels like Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas.
Okay.
Okay, that's what part 2 feels like. Except that now you're creating your own character.
Okay.
Okay, and you create it from scratch. So I made this gorgeous redhead because we all know I'm into redheads. So you get a nice gorgeous redhead, got a nice little fat ass. Oh man, so nice to look at the whole time. You can dress him up. Doesn't matter. So I finished that one out. Okay, the controls on that feel very Grand Theft Auto, old Grand Theft Auto-ish. They're a little bit, tough to go through. And then 3 for me, it was started playing 3 and it refined all the controls. And it was the same idea, except you're in a brand new world, you're in a brand new city. Okay, and what happens is you guys are now, before you were in, I think it was Steelport, or maybe you moved to Steelport, doesn't matter. But you go to this new city, and from here you have to build your gang up to the top, okay? What's great about this series, as opposed to Grand Theft Auto, is that the characters that have been with you since the first game keep transferring over. It's like
Telltale.
It's your gang.
It's like The Walking Dead kind of.
Yes,
Telltale.
But these characters stay with you through the entire series. So now you're on 4, and Part 3 was like Grand Theft Auto Plus to me. It was so like I love the story. The voice acting was great. Just like the characters, I fell in love with all the characters, and I loved everything about Part 3. And then I picked up 4. In 4, what happens is, and this is not a spoiler because at this point, everybody, if you haven't seen a trailer for it, you should know what it is. But basically, because of the events in 3, you've now been escalated to you and your gang are the president of the United States.
That's awesome.
Like, that's how the game starts. You're the president, and then all of your gang members are like the executives of the board, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. And like 2 minutes into you starting this game, you're sitting down, you're doing a press conference, okay? Because your politics are not going over very well. Because you really don't understand what you're doing. And then you're talking, you're discussing it, and then out of nowhere, just this huge army of aliens just comes down and attacks the White House. And just starts abducting people.
Yeah.
Okay? And you go through this huge action scene where it ends up with you sitting on this freaking massive, like, torpedo gun, just aiming at the gun, aiming at the ship far away. And then they capture you, and you wake up and you're in, like, this 50s style world. Okay, where everything's like la ti da and poodle skirts and I bake pies. And I have a woman, so I've gone through the whole series with the same character.
Yeah.
I keep building the same character over and over again is what happens. So I wake up and I'm like, I'm like flirting with my husband and da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden she's like, your character's like, what am I doing? I don't like doing this. I'm a saint. Like, what the fuck? I want to go like smoke a joint. I want to go kill people. And you start breaking the simulation. And you find out that you're in a simulation. You find out that you're in like a Matrix type of world, okay? And you wake up and you're in like a pod, just like in the Matrix. You're in like a pod where they're keeping you and they're like containing your brain. And you wake up and now you've got to like get out of the alien ship. And then one of your teammates survived the encounter, so she like stole an alien ship. And now you get out of there and then you keep going back into the simulation. The idea is that your goal now is to go into the simulation.
Yep.
To capture anyone, to unlock anybody else that may have been captured, all the rest of your crew.
Okay.
You're unlocking them, and they're all in their own sort of worlds, that they're worst terrors, so to speak. Okay, so like Johnny Gat, who's a character who's been with you since the first Saints Row, his is actually a side scroll beat 'em up.
Okay.
When you unlock him, it's literally like playing Double Dragon, and it's like 3 levels of Double Dragon. It's so awesome. And then you got another one who's like, it's like playing Metal Gear, and it's just all these like odes to these old games. And as you keep unlocking these characters, you get them all, and then you got to do like a loyalty mission with them, like you're doing a Mass Effect kind of deal. And once you finish a loyalty mission with them, they get superpowers. So now they're like, they can like lift cars, and they can throw them at people in the simulation, because you're in a simulation. So the idea is you have Matrix-like powers now. You can freeze things in your mind.
Yeah.
You get all these sort of abilities. It plays a lot like DC Universe.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever familiar with that, I don't know if you are or not.
I am. We've talked about that. I play it.
You play that. Okay.
I have.
Yeah, so it's a lot of those kind of same
hours.
ideas. Like you can glide around a lot. You get like the freezing powers, except you get a lot more of them, and the controls are much more refined. Like it's a lot easier to play through.
Yeah, that was the other thing about DC Universe. I love DC Universe, but
the controls are a little tough. Yeah, no, in this one, it's like, I remember playing this, and the first thing I saw immediately, I noticed off the bat, I was like, this is like DC Universe if they actually refined the controls and they made it like really fun.
Did you feel that DC Universe just got hard to play after a while, just because you had to have
friends to play with.
You have to have friends, and it's hard to also play with friends, because I tried to play with Brendan, and it was hard to keep track of him because it's such a large world.
Yeah.
It's not like you guys are on one screen. You know, he could be over wherever he wants, and I can go wherever I want. It's a large world.
I actually played that with Steve too, because you get Metropolis and then you get Gotham, and I felt the same way, to be honest with you, because Steve would want to play with me, and I had a couple of really good times playing with him. But to be honest, I just, when I'm in a game like that, like an open world game, I just want to go off and do my own thing.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt.
Like, hey, we should go over here and do this. I'm like, yeah, all right, you go do that. I'll just fucking go over here.
Yeah,
I thought we were playing together. You're in my world. Shut up.
Yeah, you're in my world. Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, just get out of my world. Actually, get out. I don't even want you there. Yeah. I always felt that way with that. You know, I always felt like I just kind of wanted to, you know. I don't know. I just always wanted.
Well, how many levels did you get up to? Like level 30 or
around there? Yeah.
Because if you can get up to level 30, that's their cap, and then so after that, that's where you start unlocking the hard challenges and whatnot. That's where you start getting new items and all that.
Right. I don't remember. I think it was just hard for me to get to 30, I remember, just because unless you have money.
I did the same. Okay, that is true. But what I did was I spent $10 to get like a pack.
Yeah.
And that unlocked the second tier. So like you've got the free to play, right? You've got the free to play, you don't pay anything.
Yeah.
Where you don't get shit. And then you've got like the $10. After you spend $10, you get in the second level queue.
Yeah.
And that will give you a lot more stuff. It'll allow you to spend some more money. You can get more powers and whatnot.
I think. I got some of the expansions, like. Some
so you got the second tier then. You probably still having trouble though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do kind of lock you out of some of the stuff. I mean, I don't know. I had a good time with it.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it for a long time, and then I just got
redhead that ran around.
I'm sure you did. I was a Superman like hero.
Yeah,
of course I was. Yeah.
No, I was like my chick. She didn't have any. Technically, she didn't have any of those like real powers. I made her very Batman-esque, so she could glide and things like that. And then she fought with like a pole.
That's cool. Yeah, mine was. My first one was super, like, he could fly, and he had like super strength and stuff like that. But my second one, which I didn't ever use because I wanted to fly, was very Batman-esque.
Yeah, she had the acrobatics kind of thing.
Yeah, I went to Green Lantern. Yeah, actually, my third character went to Green Lantern, and that's what I stuck with.
Yeah,
I loved the Green Lantern one. Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, DC Universe is a great game. It's fun to just kind of sit down and just kind of mellow out with. There's not a real story to it or anything.
Yeah, it's just kind of fun.
And I had fun going through some of the dungeons because, like, after you beat a villain, you get like that little comic book thing, and I'm like, comic books.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love the beginning, the first opening scene.
Yep.
That
like epic cinematic trailer.
Yeah, that was great. That was really
is really, really good.
Yeah. So anything else?
Saints Row 4, I would definitely recommend, especially if you're into
even without have seen the other ones. Or would you recommend? Where would you start?
I would at least play 3 before you played 4.
At least.
I
will probably pick up the whole series. I'm sure.
If you're gonna do it, pick up 2 and then 3 and then play 4. Because I don't know, I didn't play the first one, but I imagine the first one's probably broken in terms of controls and whatnot.
Yeah. So that sounds good. All right, so we're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back. And what I mean by break is that you'll hear some music, and then we will be back with our main thing, which is going to be Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty excited. We got some good news from Netflix.
Yes, some really awesome news. All right, so we will be right back. Enjoy the music.
All right.
Nice break.
Yeah, it was good. Good. You good? You refreshed?
I feel refreshed. Yeah. Good. I have to go to the bathroom now.
Oh, that's a terrible time, dude. We were just on a break.
It's all right.
You're out of luck.
It's all right. I can keep going.
We've got to talk about this. So here's a big thing tonight. This is what we're going to discuss in somewhat lengthy detail. I don't know how well you know these characters, but I'm at least familiar with 3 out of 4 of them. And we are going to discuss Netflix just recently launched a deal this week with Disney where they are going to be producing 5 new shows.
Yes.
Okay. They are 13-episode series.
Yes, like most
and we
Netflix
are doing
shows.
Yep. And they're going to be doing Daredevil.
Yep.
Iron Fist.
Yep.
Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and then the Defenders.
Right.
And this is going to be launched over several years. Okay. Which I am freaking super excited about. They're going to be starting this in 2015.
Yeah.
It's around the same time as Avengers 2. Okay. And they're going to be starting it then, and it's going to be 13 episodes, and the first one's going to start off with is Daredevil.
So when you mean they're going to start off with Daredevil, that you mean that they're that's the first series that they're going to launch?
Series they're launching.
Well, see, that's what I would be most excited about because I know more about Daredevil than the other ones.
And this is the thing, and I'm kind of liking that idea, but at the same time, I'm kind of wishing they saved that for second or third. Because everyone knows who Daredevil is. Daredevil had his own movie. He's very popular. He's got that mainstream vibe, which is, I guess, it's good to start it with that because
it'll get you more invested. Yeah, and you'll also kind of get a feel of what the other ones might be.
Yeah,
considering that
it's all going to be intertwining stories.
Right, and they're all going to intertwine. Right, as you said. Now I have to say, I've only watched one series from Netflix, which is Orange is the New Black.
Which I loved.
It's a great show.
Very good.
It was really good. It was based on a true story. I actually ended up buying the book and I read it.
Did you really?
Read the whole book. Yeah, it was really good.
The book was good?
Yeah, actually a very good book. Not as good as the show.
Yeah, I just imagine the show is going to be dramatized to a point.
Yeah. But the show was just made so
well done. They got a new season coming next year.
I know. I'm so excited for that. And I think my favorite thing about Netflix shows is that they do it like they would normally put on any TV show, is that they all come out at the same time, so you don't have to wait every week.
I know, and they're not like regular shows; they're HBO type shows.
Yeah,
so
they
like
are Showtime, HBO. Yeah,
which means that they can get away with a lot more, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how they're going to breed that into Daredevil, because you're going to show some really good action scenes now where you don't have to hold back as much. And
yeah.
The other question becomes, how much are they going to put into this? Like, what's their budget for it?
And that's true, because a lot of, like, there's no superhero show that is on HBO or Showtime or, something like that. So they really don't have any strings to hold them back.
They don't, really, except for their budget, whatever
except for
their
budget. But, and that's true, because we don't know. I mean, Netflix makes a lot of money. I mean, there's not a lot of people that don't have Netflix.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people that I can talk to that don't have Netflix in some way. So
most people have it.
I feel like they must make it.
I've got a couple of friends that don't, which I'm always like, why do you not have that?
When I first got Netflix, I got it, and they had, you could order the DVDs by mail, and they had just started Instant Stream. Now, when they first started Instant Stream, there was nothing on it that was good, except for a couple of things. So there really wasn't no purpose of having that. And then right around that time, they changed it so you could either have the Instant Stream for the same price.
There was a backlash for that.
Right, it was like 2 years. And I canceled it right away because I was like, well, there's no reason for me to pay this much to not, because I only used one or the other, you know what I mean? And I was just like, that's stupid. I'm getting rid of it. But now Instant Stream is so much better now. They have so many shows that you can start watching and catch up on, and they have I don't think their movie selection is great, but it's definitely 1,000 times better than what it was.
It's nice, man. I mean,
no,
it is nice. There's a lot of independent films I've seen on there.
Yeah,
and I love those.
Yeah,
I've always been an indie film fan. And and now you can see that their popularity's grown because now they're getting these deals for these new
right.
These new
yeah,
projects.
exactly.
And, I mean, to get
they're not next day television, but they still it's able. Like, I never have gotten into Breaking Bad if it wasn't for Netflix, because I would not have bought the first season on DVD to watch it. I would never have done it. I never would have, and it's one of my favorite shows.
That's the thing, and now you've got them starting to come out with these new series. So, for example, they're coming out with this Daredevil, and again, that's not going to be for 2 years, but we're going to see some big things. And what they're doing is they'll do Daredevil first. Yeah. Which of these characters are you familiar with, by the way? I know that you know Daredevil. Everybody knows who Daredevil is. Out of the other three, which ones do you know? We've got Iron Fist. Yes, I know
Iron Fist. Yes.
Okay, what does Iron Fist do?
He has an Iron Fist.
No. So you don't know Iron Fist, and it's okay not to know them.
Oh, I thought I knew him. I mean, I know about him. I don't really know much.
Iron Fist is really like a kung fu kind of character. Okay, he's kung fu with chi, and then he's got magic powers. He can blast that and whatnot. He's very kung fu-esque. And then you've got Luke Cage. Do you know who Luke Cage is?
Sure.
Okay, Luke Cage is this big black guy with super strength. Okay, he's got a couple other abilities, and then you've got Jessica Jones.
Yeah, like Jessica Rabbit, her cousin, right?
Like Jessica, you don't get this at all. Jessica Jones is, she was Jewel in Marvel for a while. She's got a couple of abilities.
Oh, Jewel, yeah.
Yeah, Jewel. No, I know, you know who that is. It's fine. It's fine if you don't know.
I know. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
You've got these four characters. You'll learn about them in this series anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But what's going to be great about this is that the fifth series is going to be called The Defenders, which is going to be these four characters and an additional couple of characters they'll introduce over time in their own Avengers type of series.
Yes.
Okay, but this will be a 13-episode series. And if this works out the way I'm thinking it works out, it'll come out around the same time as Avengers 3 for the Defenders. And if they did this right, they could do the Avengers and the Defenders versus Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet, because that's what they're setting up right now.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with the Infinity Gauntlet, if you own the Infinity Gauntlet, okay, it's 6 stones, okay, in the Marvel Universe that this character, Thanos was at the end of the last Avengers film.
Yep.
Okay, he was the guy sitting on the throne, kind of looked back. He's obsessed with these Infinity Stones. If you get all 6 of them, they all have a different ability. I think there's time, there's space, there's reality, and then there's 3 others. I can't remember what they are. There's power, there's mind, and there's one. Oh well. So if you get all 6 of these together, okay, you put them in this glove, you get all 6 of these powers, okay, and now you basically become God. You have the ability to bend anything you want to your will. You can bend reality to your will. You can put thoughts in people's minds. You literally become God is what happens. Yeah. And I think that's where they're going with the Marvel Universe right now.
Cool.
So you will not see Thanos fighting. You won't see him in Avengers 2. You may not even see him in Avengers 3. to be honest with you. We could be waiting a little bit longer, even than that, because this is going to be. I think it's going to be a 10-year span. But I would love to see Avengers 3 be, have the Avengers, and then you have the Defenders, and then you've got versus Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Because the new Thor movie, they did the second gem. The first gem is the little box that you see in the Avengers.
Yeah.
That's the first gem, so to speak, the first stone.
Yeah.
And then the second stone is introduced in the new series. And
nice.
They even mentioned, they're like, well, 2 down, 4 to go. So you know that they're building up this Infinity Gauntlet series.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
I'm freaking stoked about this.
And you didn't know that until you saw the Thor?
Well, I had a feeling, when you bring Thanos in, Thanos is famous for the Infinity Gauntlet. Right. But they pretty much confirmed it at this point. They've been like, it's confirmed, really. It confirmed my suspicions, is what happened. Yeah. And I would love to see the Defenders there, and then to bring them into the Marvel Universe with the series.
That'd be cool.
And then if they could pick up S.H.I.E.L.D. a little bit better now, too, that'd be good.
Oh, so. And we also, I want to verify, or let people know, if you didn't know this, is that these are not going to be animated. They will be live
action films.
The Netflix shows will be live action, which is really awesome.
And they could span more than one season each. It's just there's the initial season to see if it picks up or not.
Right, yeah. It's like one season per character, and then hopefully the Defenders.
No, and then the Defenders. They've signed on for the 5 movies. For the 5 shows.
For the 13 episodes for each character, and then a 13-episode Defenders show.
13 episodes per character.
That's what I'm saying.
And then a 13-episode show for the Defenders.
That's just what I said.
Yes.
Yes, you just confirming?
Yes.
Okay. I thought maybe you were just trying to correct me, and I was like, that's exactly what I said.
That's what we're getting out of it. So it's a total of, what is that, 50, 60 shows or something like that?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And I'm really excited. It's going to take a while, and I can't believe we have to wait so long.
Yeah, year and a half. Year and a half's not too bad.
Yeah, I know, but I don't like waiting.
Announced now and then to get it in a year and a half.
I'm waiting for Girl Meets World to come out right now. Yeah, I know it's a Disney Channel, but I don't know. I think it's going to be just as good as long as we give it a chance.
Yeah, it's next month, so you don't have to wait that much longer for that, right? It is December that comes out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have too long to wait for that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, man.
Okay, well, so that's everything. I got
my spiel for that, so.
Yeah, wow, that's very exciting. It's so funny. I'm just going to say this right before we say our ending stuff and then head off for the show, but I feel like I wish I had more information than you just seem more knowledgeable on almost everything. On what we talk about, it seems like I feel like I'm like not even you can't even call me a geek. You can't.
You can. You still qualify. I'm well traversed in this subject. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time doing musical theater, so I mean, I'm.
See if we could bring that up at some point, though, and I'll sort of go. I'll be in your shoes at that point. I'll be like,
yeah.
I saw Phantom of the Opera once in Broadway.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw Wicked in Broadway too.
Oh, did you? Yeah,
I go to Broadway show.
Both not too bad. Wicked I thought was better than Phantom of the Opera. I like Phantom of the Opera. It was one of the first shows I've ever seen, but
Wicked was not as good as I thought it was going to be.
You know what? Wicked, the first time I saw it, wasn't crazy about it, and when I saw it with my friend Brendan, I ended up loving it.
Really?
The second time. I still don't love the music. I still don't love the music, but I loved the story.
You remember Sam, my ex-girlfriend, dude.
Yeah.
She freaking loved Wizard of Oz. Like, I remember I bought her the 75th anniversary DVD when it came out.
I got that too from my mom.
All that stuff, yeah. She was, like, big into that, and then she would always talk about Wicked and how good it was. And she told me, like, basically most of the plot and whatnot. So when I went to see this, it was, like, a year and a half ago to see it. I was so psyched, because I was like, oh, man, I'm going to see all these things she's been talking about. And I was just like, oh, all right, yeah, this is good-ish. All right, it was fun. That was about all I got out of it. So
yeah,
I do want to go see the Spider-Man that's in New York though.
So don't bother. Do not bother.
I'm gonna go see it.
Don't bother.
It's a Comic-Con one, dude. That's a Comic-Con movie. Turn Off the Dark. Did you already see it?
The Broadway musical? Yeah.
You saw it?
I saw it.
Saw it.
I'm sorry. I went to go see it with my cousin Brian. It was horrible.
Gonna cry.
The music. Have you heard the music?
No, I don't care about the music.
Oh, dude, no, the music is awesome.
I just want to see Spider-Man fight on Broadway. It's fucking awesome.
No, it was horrible.
All right.
No, I'm telling you right now, it was the cheesiest, stupidest show I've ever seen, and I want my money back. It was so bad.
The music was fantastic.
Music was great.
Yes.
The fighting, and it wasn't worth seeing it live. It was horrible.
Well, I can't see it any other way. They don't have a pre-recorded version of it.
I have the soundtrack, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the soundtrack is meh. I want to see it.
I know. I'm just saying it's bad.
I'm still gonna see it, but all right.
I'll
let you know. We'll agree to terribleness for next time.
Oh man,
is that one of those? Lion King for that's not.
Lion King is very good. That's worth seeing.
Yeah. So.
The beginning of Spider-Man, I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be awesome. Because like the first couple of minutes, it's just like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, and then it was just horrible. It was made for kids. It was made for like a 5-year-old to watch.
You think so?
No, I know.
Although, if it was made for 5-year-olds, dude, do you remember the Ninja Turtles coming out of their shell store? Because I had that on VHS, and I still could watch that to this day. And it is the worst. It's probably not a great Broadway musical. I have the soundtrack.
Didn't even know that they made a musical.
There's a musical for Ninja Turtles. It's fantastic.
Oh man, we should end this right now before we get in trouble because you're gonna start talking about.
Okay, it's so badass.
All right, so
I don't even know.
So thank you so much for listening to the podcast.
Shredder comes on.
Don't forget to email us at chadanmfilms@gmail.com. chadanmfilms@gmail.com. I'm gonna say it one more time. chadanmfilms@gmail.com. Don't forget to come and see me at my show Spelling Bee and also donate to GoFundMe.com. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening or day or weekend or week. We love you so much.
It really is.
Tune in next week.